Hello, I'm Bernice German, the Math Whisperer. If you or your child struggle with math, this video is for you. In fact, if that is the case, you're in good company with a lot of wonderful, smart people. Over half of math students struggle. We're talking over 20 million students in the United States at any time. And here is how to get back on track. Fill in gaps in your foundation. Students who struggle in math invariably have gaps that go back to earlier grades. There are one or two critical building blocks from first grade, one or two critical building blocks from second grade, and so on. By the time you get to middle school or high school, there are 16 critical building blocks you need to perform at grade level. That is really good news. It means the struggling student has a manageable task, 16 critical building blocks to master. Here's an example of a critical building block. 4 minus 5 equals what? The correct answer is minus 1. Many high school students who struggle will say 4 minus 5 equals 1. They subtract by taking the smaller number from the larger number, and they have been doing this since first or second grade for 8 to 11 years. This may show up as 4x squared minus 5x squared equals x squared instead of minus x squared. The high school teacher is likely to see this as a simple error, not a consistent misconception. And with 150 students or more, the high school student doesn't really have time to analyze each student's work. Thinking 4 minus 5 equals 1 is an example of a critical gap. Here's a summary of what has happened. The student misses a critical building block. The student has a gap. Years go by, and the student does things incorrectly every year. It's a habit. Teachers in the higher grades don't pick up on the gap. The student can't figure out why sometimes he gets the right answer and sometimes he doesn't. To make the situation even worse, students who struggle tend to blame themselves. They feel badly, and often they say really negative things to themselves like, I'm too stupid to do this. I don't have a math brain. That's part of the good news about gaps coming from much earlier grades. Everyone knows that they can do first and second grade math. To get started on the path to succeeding in math, if you or your child struggle with that and are in grade 6 or higher, almost guaranteed the student has problems with fractions. It's critical to know how to multiply and add fractions, like 1/2 plus 1/3 equals what, and 1/5 times 4/5 equals what. That is the place to begin. I have videos that explain multiplying and adding fractions. If you have problems with your math problems, know that your brain is fine and you are capable of learning math. The math has to be taught properly. There is a deep problem with the system. It's not you and it's not your child. It's the system. To summarize my advice, fill gaps, start with fractions. And here's some advice about that. Doing your homework and not understanding it is kind of like putting a Band-Aid on a wound. Filling the gap is actually healing the wound. If you can't find time during the school year, vacations are the next best time. An hour at a time is all a person can generally concentrate on math. Do an hour a day, every day. And there you have it.